Good morning, TK, and welcome to this week's theme introduction. As you may remember, last week we talked about moving on. Okay, we are getting ready to make that transition to kindergarten in just a few short weeks. So, with moving on comes some different challenges, right? We always are going to be experiencing new things and new challenges, and we are always going to try to be up for the task. So the first thing I want to do is sort of look at these little kids here that are getting ready to move on. It says up there in that right-hand corner, avanzamos, right? Avanzamos means to move on. We are advancing. And believe it or not, you guys will be advancing to kindergarten in just a few short weeks. And with a new grade every year comes new challenges, new things that you're going to be learning. So it is all really, really exciting if you are up for the task, which you should always be up for learning something new because learning is so important and it's how we grow. So I want to sort of just take a look at this visual chart that we have right behind me. We have some kids who are trying new things, it looks like, right? We have this little boy who looks like he's like waving. He's like, hey, I'm on my way to kindergarten. And we see a little boy here. What is this little boy doing? Can anybody see what he's doing? Looks like he's doing something with his shoe. He is trying to learn how to tie his shoes, right? He's still little and he might not know how to tie his shoes yet, but he is trying. Let's see here. Can anybody see this little boy up here? He is learning to zip up his sweatshirt zipper. Alrighty? And I really want to focus on this little girl here. She's holding a special dish of food, and she looks like she is getting ready to try sushi. Okay, she's getting ready to try sushi. Have any of you tried sushi before? Oh my goodness. So there are some of you who have tried sushi. I personally love sushi, but I do have to tell you that before I loved it, I was actually really, really nervous to try it. I thought that I wasn't going to like it, but once I kept eating it, I kept trying, I actually ended up really loving it, and now it's one of my favorite foods. So if you don't know what sushi is, I'm going to just explain to you very briefly, but it is a rice roll that is filled with fish and vegetables, or it could be like crab or other types of meat, and it is usually has some seaweed on the outside, and it's really, really yummy. It can be healthy if you don't have too much of the rice, but a lot of people have a really big fear of trying sushi. But what I want you guys to know is that it's okay to try new things. Okay, look at this little girl. How does she look like she feels about trying that sushi? She's smiling. She looks a little nervous, but she looks like she is definitely willing to try something new. Okay, so I want to encourage you guys this week to try doing something new at home. It is really, really important that you try new things, okay? Because once you try new things, you can find out, well, I can't do this, so I need to keep trying. I need to keep practicing. And sometimes it is good to try new things because you can figure out if you like it or if you don't like it. And that's another really important thing in life, is to kind of know those things about yourself. So as you grow, you will be trying new things, believe it or not. You're not always going to want to try new things, but you're going to have to. And the important thing is that if you feel like you can't do something, you just have to remind yourself that you can if you keep practicing and you could put your mind to it, and you take the words of encouragement from people around you. Okay, so this week I want to challenge you guys to try something new at home. This might be something really simple, like trying a new food, for example. Ask mom and dad, what is a food that I haven't tried before? Do you have something at home that I can try eating that I think I might not like, but you might end up finding out that you do? Maybe you can try learning how to tie your shoes. Maybe you can try learning how to make your own bed. Or maybe you can even pick up your own toys and clean up your own room. Okay, so this week I really want to encourage you guys to try something new. See if you're able to do it. If you aren't, all it's going to take is just a little bit more practice for you to really get it down. So Before we get started with our lessons for today, I want to read to you guys a little story about a really, really awesome giraffe who thought that he couldn't dance. And this book is called Giraffes Can't Dance. Okay? Giraffes Can't Dance. And let's just look at the cover of this book. Do you guys think that giraffes really can dance? Yes or no? Okay, well, I think they probably can't do flips like this, but they definitely can dance in their own way. But what do you think is going to happen in this book? Have any of you read this book before? Well, if you said you think that this book is going to be about a giraffe who can't dance, I think that you are right. So let's go ahead and go through the book and find out about this special dancing giraffe. Here we go. Giraffes Can't Dance by Giles Andrade and Guy Parker Reese. Okay. Giraffes Can't Dance. Here we go. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees. But when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. So look at his face here. How do you think he feels? He's looking at all of the other animals and he's sort of feeling a little bit intimidated. The warthogs started waltzing and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. So cute. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. All of these animals sure have a lot of dancing talents. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked toward the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." How do you guys think that he felt when he was getting made fun of? Doesn't feel very good to get made fun of, right? He must have been really nervous and lacking a lot of confidence. And confidence is knowing or believing that you can do something. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before. So sad and so alone. Look at it, Gerald. He's got his head down and he really just has no self-esteem. He does not believe that he can dance. He let other people, the other animals, make him feel like it's true. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on, "but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground, His neck was gently swaying and his tail was swishing round. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was opened wide. "I am dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I am dancing!" Gerald cried. Then one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream! Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen!" And look at all those animals. They're just sitting there down at the bottom. They cannot believe the beautiful show that he is putting on. "How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." The end. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that book as much as I did. That is actually one of Riley's favorite bedtime stories that we used to read just a few years ago. We still have it at home. So I hope you guys have seen and sort of understood that sometimes when you feel a little bit nervous about doing something new, you just kind of have to find what's comfortable for you, what works for you, and when you're ready to try something, you can definitely do it. You just need to practice, and you need to take encouragement and listen to the words that the people that love you have to say, and you can put anything you put your mind to. So once again, I really, really want you guys to think about all of the wonderful things that you guys can already do, because this year we have done so much growing, and you guys have learned so many new things. I mean, so many of you came in not even knowing how to hold a pencil or not even knowing how to recognize any letters in the alphabet, and now you are all writing your names and even starting to write words and sounding out words, and it is just really, really special to have watched you guys take on these new challenges all year. And I encourage you to keep taking on new challenges because it is always going to help you grow. So this week at home, try a new food, try making your own bed, try setting the table on your own, try washing a dish all by yourself, and make sure that it is something that's safe for you to try at home. But I really, really do want you guys to try doing something new at home, just like Gerald did. Believe in yourself. Know that you can do anything that you put your mind to if you just practice and you really, really try. I will see you guys in a little bit. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will talk to you later. Bye, TK.